everybody, welcome to GGS Railways. My name is Greg, this is my YouTube channel. Alright, what are we doing tonight? Well, this is going to be episode 3 of Frank over at Twisted Macgyver Trains Show Me Your Caboose challenge. And the challenge is, you know, you can run up to 10 cabooses of your choice and, you know, show me your caboose. So, alright, so the first 2 episodes I did were just kind of, I don't know, they were fun, they were warm-ups, and I enjoyed doing them. They were very, very fun. Now, this one is very deliberate, and I've thought this one a lot. I got 10 of my favorite cabooses on here, and my strategy changed a little bit after I saw some of you guys, cabooses, because some of you guys have some really, really nice. I mean, I didn't even know that they had cabooses that nice. I mean, have you seen Frank's collection of cabooses? Whoa. Whoa, guys. I'm like, I can't compete with that. So, alright, anyway, so I went for obscurity. Went for variety and obscurity. So, alright, let me show you exactly what we got here on the track. We're going to go one by one. I'll tell you a little bit about each one, and yeah, we'll go from there. Let's do it. Alright, so let's start with the first thing on the track here. Alright, so the first thing on the track here is a Lionel porthole caboose. And when I first got into the model train hobby, I really wanted a Lionel porthole caboose. I wanted it really bad, and I overpaid. That's generally what you do when you first get into the hobby, is you get really anxious, and fortunately, you start off the hobby with more money than later when you spend all your money on trains. Yep, but anyway. So, alright, so yeah, that's what that is. That is a Lionel 6417 porthole caboose. Now you'll notice that he says 64173. That just tells you that he's made in 1953. Lionel did some really weird stuff with their numbering, guys. And we'll talk about that later on in the cabooses. Man, later on they just really just mess with our minds. Anyway, so what can I tell you about this? This is from, like I said, from 1953. This is a lit caboose. This is quite nice. I like this guy a lot. So, all right, behind him is a Lionel 16510. It's a New Haven. It's a bay window caboose, which is also a special kind of caboose. Once again, I always wanted one of these, and I just very recently got this guy. I actually got him in a lot of model train cars I bought off of eBay, and I did not overpay for them at all. As a matter of fact, I got a really good deal on them. So, you know, it kind of all works out in the wash, right? So, all right, yeah, what can I tell you about him? So, he's made in 1989. He is a lit caboose. Now, I'm going to turn off the lights here in a minute. Now, he's lit in a way that it's very difficult to see that he's lit, so I don't know. You may or may not be able to see that on the camera. I took it apart to see if maybe there's a light bulb burn out, but no, that's just the way he is. Anyway, all right. So, number 3. I don't want to say number 3 because that makes it sound like, you know, we're going in order of my favorites. I don't want to do that. That's weird, I know. But anyway, all right. So, third on the track is the Lionel 3054 Mickey Mouse 90th anniversary caboose. Now, I have kind of a guilty pleasure with the Mickey Mouse trains. So, yeah, there had to be some Mickey Mouse on here somewhere. So, y'all excuse me if you know, that doesn't seem like your cup of tea, but that's my cup of tea. I love Mickey Mouse. So yeah, right. So anyway, this is from the 90th anniversary set. This is the caboose that would have gone with that. And let's see, he's a lit caboose, and he was made in 2018. I believe that is the youngest the youngest caboose we have here on the track. So all right, yes. That could explain why, you know, he's not, you know, lit with the figures inside. Whoa, my God, those are so nice. So anyway, all right. So let's move the train a little bit here, and we'll talk about some of these other things. That way you guys can see a little bit better, and it's cool to move the train, right? Let's go. All right, that seems like a pretty good spot right there. All right, so behind the Mickey Mouse train, my God, I love that Mickey Mouse train. Anyway, we have what is we actually we drove 10 hours to get the set that this guy goes with, but that's another story. I'll drop some of the videos that go with these guys down in the description. You guys can check it out later. But yeah, we drove 10 hours to get a, I believe it was a Keebler train. Yes, and Elfin Railroads. I think that was the name of the set. Anyway, all right, I digress. So, all right, this is a Cheez-It, the Lionel Cheez-It caboose. And let's see, this is if I can find it. It's at 8632, and it was made in 1999, and it is a non-lit caboose, which is interesting because they made this caboose in a way that it looks like they very much planned to make it lit, and then at the last minute I think they cheapened out and they didn't. So everywhere that you see the description for this guy, you're going to see in big letters, non-lit. So alright, yeah, very cool. So alright, so behind him, and this is like night and day, we have the Lionel 2457. And this also is one of those where, you know, they did the funny thing with the numberings, where because it says 477 618 on the side, and actually to find the number on this guy, and once again Lionel did some really screwy things with their car numbers. You actually have to turn it on its turn it on it, you know, where you can see the bottom of the car, and I'll show you. It's stamped on the bottom of the car, and that's so weird. They didn't do that for very long, and a lot of people didn't like that. But anyway, I think what they were going for is they wanted to do different car numbers and so forth, you know, that weren't, you know, the official, you know, production number of the car. That way, you know, they could change it up and have different whatever, make it more realistic. I don't know what they're going for. Lionel had a very extensive marketing thing, and you know, some of their stuff was really good, and some of their stuff was kind of a miss. And from my perspective, I think that was kind of a miss. All right, so let's move the train some more because, you know, we want to be able to see. And it's just cool. It's just cool. All right, here we go. Ready? All right, so this is where it starts getting obscure. I mean, not that some of this stuff wasn't obscure, but this is where it starts getting really obscure. So, all right, this is an Ives. And if you're not familiar with Ives, Ives was a train company that prior to the Great Depression was in competition with Lionel. Lionel did not play fair. Lionel did some ads depicting some, I wouldn't call them lies, but I would call them deceptive. There you go. They compared trains that you know, they weren't similar at all as far as, you know, Lionel and Ives, and you know, for whatever it's worth, they did wind up putting Ives out of business, kind of. And we'll talk about that again. Actually, we should have talked about that at the Mickey Mouse car. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a second. So, all right. So, yes, this is Ives. And let's see. What year is this from? This is a 67 number Caboose, and it's from 1928. And it is not lit. So, all right, you know, you might think about that and think, gosh, well, you know, why would it be lit? But we have an American flyer in there, and I didn't include that in this video. That's older than that, and it's lit. You know, crazy. Anyway, all right, next on the track is this guy, and this is probably one of the most obscure things, if not the most obscure thing, here on the track. And this is also the oldest caboose that we have here on the track. So this is a Dorfan Lines 607 caboose. It is from 1924. So you're probably saying to yourself, gosh, I've never heard of Dorfan. Well, there is a reason for that. So, all right, Dorfan is the American version of the German company Fandor. And if you think about Fandor and Dorfan, it's the same letters. They just rearranged them. So yeah, so the reason that happened is because Fandor Trains in Germany wanted to sell trains in the United States. And you know, we were talking an awful lot here lately about tariffs and so forth. Well, at the time we had some pretty heavy tariffs and pretty heavy restrictions for items coming from Germany. So Fandor founded Dorfan Trains here in the United States, and yeah, so that's what it was. It was not successful. It did not work out. Dorfan Trains, they only made 10 total freight cars in this in their entire lineup, and 2 of them were cabooses. They had a 4-wheel caboose, and they had the less expensive 2-wheel caboose. So yeah, they just didn't do real well. They had a lot of problems with casting and so forth. It's very rare to see a Dorfan locomotive that runs. The alloy that they use rots. So yeah, very cool. But anyway, the template though, it held up okay. And every once in a while you see these. I didn't pay a lot for this guy, but you know, he's pretty beat up too. All right, but you know, once again, 1924. So that's really cool. All right, so maybe it's time to move the train again. What do you think? All right, here we go. All right, we are getting so close to the end. All right, well, I may have gone a little too far. That's okay. I have pictures where we can do close-ups. So, all right, so this guy right here, this is a Lionel 657 Caboose, and this is from 1934, and it is non-lit. So, an interesting thing about this is if you think about 1934, you know, that was pretty much at the height, one of the worst years of the Great Depression. And, you know, I'm always amused, or not amused, always impressed with, you know, Lionel's marketing. You know, who did they sell, who did they sell trains to in the, or during the Great Depression? Now, the answer to that actually turns out is a lot of people that were into the model trains were kind of wealthy, and, you know, a little piece of history that they don't necessarily teach you sometimes is that not everybody was poor during the Great Depression. Some people actually got more wealthy. Anyway, so maybe that was who they sold that to. So, all right, so next we have this guy here, and this is one of my very, very favorite cabooses. This actually came from one of our viewers, and this is one of his childhood trains. And he sent that to us, and man, I tell you what, I really, really like this guy a lot. So, all right, so anyway, that is a Lionel 817 Caboose. It is from 1926, and it is also non-lit. And it's very nice. I mean, it's just this green color is so amazing. Just wow. So, all right, last but not least, and once again, these are not in any particular order. Now, we're going to talk about how these all got coupled together. And get my train to go. So, all right, so some of these would go together, but others, these are actually done with bread ties. So, yeah, don't try that at home, I guess. But anyway, all right, so this last thing is actually kind of unique. Now, we talked about Lionel and Ives earlier and how they were, you know, competing against each other, and I guess this will be a good time to talk about the Mickey Mouse thing. So, all right, Lionel did wind up putting Ives out of business, and during the bankruptcy of Ives, Lionel acquired them, and this caboose here is actually a Lionel, but it's made by Ives. And what they were doing is they're selling off the last of the Ives stuff, and they changed it to the Lionel name. So this is a Lionel / Ives. This is very cool, very awesome, very nice piece of history. So anyway, so we talked about you know, Ives going out of business. Now Lionel also was in trouble. Lionel was also under a lot of trouble. You know, the Great Depression was not a not a good time for, you know, toy makers, or excuse me, model train makers. I don't know why I open that can of worms. But you know, so what saved Lionel that was different, you know, from Ives? Because Ives, you know, despite the marketing thing from Lionel, they actually made pretty good products. The difference was that Lionel, the founder of Lionel, was friends with Walt Disney. And Walt Disney and Lionel got together, and they produced that. You may have seen the Mickey Mouse hand car, and that saved Lionel. And yeah, so, you know, sometimes it's who you know, right? All right, so enough talk. Let's get these guys running. Let's see what it looks like. And yeah, we're gonna do some shots in the other room as well. And then we will end our submission to the challenge. And like I said, this is number 3, and this will be the last one. All right, let's do it. Bye.